Hello and welcome to A Mugful of Marketing, your regular dose of brews and views from across the world of marketing. We're Barnaby and James from 199, a marketing agency in Leeds. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at some of the latest updates from across the social media platforms.
Yep, we're going to be talking about broadcast channels on Facebook, a new YouTube report that comes and looks at engagement, and AI avatars and Meta on TikTok.
So, first up, we have broadcast channels on Facebook. What's happening?
So accounts with more than 10,000 followers are going to be able to have broadcast channels on their Facebook page. This isn't a new kind of area of social media, but it's one that Meta is leaning into more and more. So people might already be familiar with Instagram broadcast channels. I think
we discussed them on a previous episode.
We have.
Yeah.
A lot of people have them. Some people still don't have access to them, but they're getting there. So they're just exploring that space on Facebook, which is really good news for brands that are already successful on Facebook. It gives them room to cultivate the kind of super fans and people that love their products even more. So I'm a big fan of that. They're also doing something where you'll be able to sync the WhatsApp broadcast channel, Instagram broadcast channel, and the Facebook broadcast channel.
Okay.
So you can post in one and it will post in the other one as well.
Yep.
Which normally I'm not into. I don't like auto posting between different platforms if you can kind of help it. It's lazy and it leads to lots of issues with not optimizing for each platform.
Yeah.
But I do kind of see the merit in it in one way, kind of publishing. So
yeah, and in terms of format, it's the same format, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have to assume that the functionality will be the same on both of them for them to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm less precious about it for that space. It's not about the two-way conversation.
No. So. There's early access content as well. Is another opportunity on this?
Yes. So they're going to start trialing the ability to post some content in the broadcast channel first, and then a set amount of time after that it will then publish to feed. So I like that because at the moment we have to post separately in separate spaces multiple times. If this is a video or a photo or something that you were always planning on sending to all of your followers and making available to them, it kind of cuts out that middle step. It also potentially gives you a testing ground for content with your top fans.
Yeah.
And then you can always cut it short if you don't want it to go to the main feed.
It's more efficient, isn't it? I mean, from our perspective, there's ever more things you need to do.
Yeah.
And this hopefully consolidates some of that.
As marketers, we're constantly being expected to create more versions of content and do extra posts in extra spaces. It's all time. It all adds up. That then gets fed back onto the client. I think if we can kind of make all of this stuff more efficient, then I'm for it.
Yeah. So broadly positive.
Broadly positive, but they're very clearly only testing it to see what the uptake of it will be. So I don't know.
Keep you updated on that one. Next up, we've got YouTube, a new report, The Value of Fandems.
Yeah, it's one they've put together ahead of VidCon. It's not too kind of exciting. I don't think there's anything in there that really is like...
What does it cover?
So they've just broken down a lot of their key findings on research to how people should be using their app.
Yeah.
The big takeaway for me from it was that they found 65% of respondents consider themselves creators. And they've talked a lot about in that report about how you should let people create with your content.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time that content will do better than the original content. And we've seen it on TikTok, we've seen it on Instagram and YouTube with the ability to remix other people's shorts and kind of short video content and then be creative with that. So I think they're trying to actively encourage remixing of content and kind of collaboration in that sense, which is, that is quite interesting.
In terms of our music clients, there's a benefit to that as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it's all about being able to mobilize user-generated content, and the more that you can get your own fan base creating the content for you, there's more authenticity to that. And I mean, it's interesting to see what people get up to. Like 65% of people think that they're creators, and they probably are, because they've grown up making content as they've kind of got older. So
what about the monetization potential of remix content as well?
Yeah, this all comes down to the agreements with record labels and platforms, doesn't it? So I'm sure that will change kind of month by month, and we'll have more situations of record companies falling out of platforms. It's age-old situation as that. So in theory, if there's a good relationship between record label and platform, there's the abilities to monetize content, you should let people crack on and
absolutely
and make it. But then we do still live in a world where people are quite gatekeeperish about their content. They only want their music or content to be seen in a certain context. But that's not really the way the world's going at the moment, unfortunately. You need to kind of be able to empower people to kind of...
to help you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, AI avatars on social media. We've talked about AI before in terms of... In fact, the last piece we covered was something about the Instagram labeling AI content as created by AI. This seems to be in sort of direct opposition for this. So what's happening?
Well, TikTok and Meta are both pushing forward with their AI programs, which they're all still largely in test phases, but you can see that they're all playing around with the different tools, and they're trying to create a platform where creators can utilize AI tools to make life easier for themselves, whilst on the other hand telling people that they need to be more genuine, be more present in their content, and actually be having conversations themselves. So there is a real kind of contradiction going on here.
Are they just playing both sides of it, really, and seeing how things shake up and seeing how people react to this kind of content? I guess on one hand it does make things easier. And then on the other hand, you've got the fact that people are almost a bit kind of wary of it. We mentioned the sort of uncanny valley, kind of the sort of falseness of some of the AI stuff, and the worries that people have got of it taking over.
They have to be testing it, don't they? I think there's no way that a load of developers can sit in a room with that many toys to play with and not see how it could benefit their platforms.
And not come up with solutions for problems that
don't exist
or people don't want.
Like which kind of development is going to change culture. But I don't love it. TikTok have moved to their next stage of their virtual influencer platform. And from what I've seen of that, it looks like you'll be able to kind of select which avatar, of a slightly horribly looking real person you want to sell your product. And there's so AI virtual influencers, which
I mean, but the thing with the value of an influencer usually is trust. That you trust them. You trust them on X, so you'll buy Y
100%
when they recommend it. How can you trust an AI
that you've paid for?
And its only purpose is to sell you things.
No.
You know what? People will see how people react to it. I don't want to write it off because it's coming.
It is, but it feels like this isn't the end point. This is just part of them exploring how it best works, how people respond to it, and how they can also make money on their platform. If you can charge people for virtual influencers, then I'm sure they will.
So how's Meta dealing with it?
So they're going down the avatar route. It's a bit more like the chatbot, but next level.
So it's a flowchart with a face.
Yeah, it's a flowchart with a face for sure. Chatbots aren't new. They've been around for like years and years now, and people got very excited about them, ourselves included, actually, when they first came out. And we actually saw great success with it initially, but we found very quickly that people got sick of it a lot quicker.
And want to speak to a human.
They want to speak to a human, and that disconnect of you being there, actually communicating with you know, in music, it'd be an artist or a record label directly. It led to a lot of unfollows. It led to a lot of people feeling like open rates went down on Messenger. So yeah, I don't love it, but it's just literally what we had before with a face, from what I can gather, that you can customize.
And there's real potential, isn't there? Because Taylor Swift isn't going to answer your Facebook message.
No.
Or your Instagram.
And they're trying to still keep it some obvious distinction between real person and bot. I think there's going to be a star or something next to it when it's a bot.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how people react to it. There is obviously a lot of benefit to having some kind of automated systems on Messenger.
And branding that up. If you're a big artist and your brand is you, branding that AI chatbot as you, it's got to have some value.
And look at companies across the board using all chat services. I mean, wherever you try and reach any customer service in the world, your normally first contact is a chatbot. So this is not
the AI gatekeeper. Yes,
it is. You've got to know how to get past them to actually speak to a human, haven't you? But yeah, I think they're playing around with the technology, and let's see where it goes. I don't love it.
No, I mean, you know my feelings a lot of this AI stuff as well. But it's here, and
it is.
You've got to.
We will no doubt also explore how best to use this for clients on Messenger as well, if it's about selling products, because there's certainly going to be a lot of benefits to it as well.
Great. Well, I think that probably wraps us up for this week. Thanks for watching A Mugful of Marketing, and join us next time.
Yeah, remember to give us a subscribe if you've enjoyed what you've been hearing, and yeah, we'll see you next time.